My parents dumped me for 9 years to care for my sick sister. When they returned, I pretended they were just random people to me. I was 6 when my parents told me I was visiting my grandparents. Mom's hug felt stiff. Dad barely said goodbye. I didn't know I was being abandoned. Days turned into weeks. Weeks into months. Gran stopped saying soon when I asked about them coming back. That's when my uncle sat me down and told me the truth. My sister was sick, and my parents had decided to focus on her. Not both of us, just her. I cried that night. The kind of crying where you can't breathe. Gran held me, but she couldn't fix it. My uncle and his wife took me in when my grandparents couldn't keep up. They came to my school plays. They helped with homework. They were there. By the time I was 8, I started calling them Mom and Dad. They never asked me to. It just felt right. Then I found out why they fought so hard for me. I overheard my aunt crying one night. They'd tried for years to have kids, but couldn't. The doctors said it would never happen. When I was abandoned, they saw it as fate. They weren't just taking me in out of duty. They'd been praying for a child, and I showed up. Meanwhile, my biological parents were ghosts. I'd call. They wouldn't pick up. I'd write letters. They wouldn't respond. One letter came back with "Return to sender" written on it. They'd moved and didn't even tell me their new address. They visited once when I was 11. They brought me a generic $67 toy truck and asked, "So, how's school?" like I was a stranger. What broke me was when my mom said, "You've gotten so big, I barely recognize you." Of course you don't, I thought. You weren't there. I told my uncle I didn't want to see them anymore. When I was 18, my uncle and aunt adopted me. It took years of legal battles, but they fought for me. Here's the kicker. My biological parents had to sign off on it. My uncle's lawyer tracked them down, and they signed the papers without hesitation. No fight. No, we want him back. Just signatures. My uncle told me later that my dad had said, "It's probably for the best." That's when I knew. I was never their son. I was just a problem they'd finally solved. The adoption became official on my 18th birthday. My uncle planned it that way. "Best birthday gift I could give you," he said. "Your own last name." Then my sister died. I was 20. I went to the funeral, but sat in the back. My biological parents looked broken, but I felt nothing. They were strangers. A few days later, they called my uncle asking to talk. I said no. Then Gran accidentally let it slip. They'd been asking about me for months before my sister died. She'd apparently been asking for me, begging to see her little brother. They never told me. They kept us apart even when she was dying. Gran thought I should hear them out, but I was done. That Christmas, I went to midnight mass with Gran like always. Halfway through, I smelled my mom's perfume behind me. When the service ended, she stood in front of me. "Hi, sweetheart," she said softly. I looked at her. "Sorry, do I know you?" Her face fell. My dad stepped forward. "We're your parents." I shook my head. "My parents are at home." I turned to Gran. "Ready to go?" They followed us, calling after me. I stopped and turned around. "Oh, are you my dad's brother? I think I remember you from when I was little." My dad's face turned red. My mom looked like she was about to cry. We left. A week later, a letter arrived. Pages of apologies, explanations, and guilt. They said my sister had always hoped we'd reconnect. They wanted to rebuild now that she was gone. I wrote back once. "I appreciate the apology, but I'm not ready to forgive you. I'll reach out if and when I am." I never did. My mom wrote again, saying she'd wait as long as it took, but I'm focusing on the people who've always been there. My real mom and dad, my aunt and uncle, gave me everything my biological parents never could. Gran says I'm a better person than her. "I would have told them where to stick it," she laughed. "Maybe, but I like to think setting boundaries on my own terms isn't weakness. It's control. My biological parents might always be part of my story, but they're not the whole story. The family that raised me, loved me, and chose me, that's what matters."